How's it, everybody, and welcome back. I know it's been a while since I've done an episode for the Big Eats for Big Peeps video, but food's expensive, and making these recipes is awfully expensive at the same time. So I don't think you guys realize how many different versions of these I actually get together before I put a video together. So for this one, wife had asked for like a sausage roll-up kind of a thing. She had some that we bought from. It was actually the Jimmy Dean sausage ones that she bought, and so she wondered if I can make them, for a locale for the videos. And indeed, I found out how to do that. So, of course, obviously, we are going to start with the turkey sausages from the Jimmy Dean's. Each one of these, you get a servings of per container. It's 130 calories per each serving, which is 4 of these. So, like I said, it's really good locale. Couldn't actually find any of the reduced fat cheese, so I'm just using the regular. Obviously, this would be a little bit lower if you were to get the reduced fat. Like I said, it's kind of how to farm right now. Then we also are going to be using our egg whites instead of regular eggs. A lot lower calorie. These ones are the ones that have the yellow stuff in them, that makes them look like regular scrambled eggs. Don't have to use these. I've also made them with the regular, just the white substitute egg whites. They come out looking, just white. Maybe not as pretty because they don't have the yellow tint to them, but they're just as fine. And then to actually make the dough, if you remember back, I did a recipe to where I made garlic Parmesan knots and then also cinnamon sugar ones, pretzel stuff. And that recipe consisted basically of Greek yogurt, non-fat, and then flour. This one I got the self-rising flour, but you can also do just regular flour and put in some baking powder in it. I don't remember what the actual measurements was. I just found this to be a lot easier. So yeah, we're going to go ahead and get started. The first thing I'm going to do is cook some eggs on this. All right, so the first thing we're going to be doing on this, we are going to make the eggs. I usually make things about 20 minutes beforehand because I find it easier to handle when they are cold and obviously not fresh, hot out of the oven or out of the pan. So for the first thing we're going to do, okay, this is a little non-stick over here. And then each one of these is going to have 10 grams of eggs. So we've got our egg whites on here, so we're going to measure out to 60. We got 68 right there, so we're going to go ahead and leave that. Turn that off. We are going to grab any kind of seasoning, whether if you want to use just regular salt and pepper, onion powder, garlic powder, whatever. I'm just going to throw in little Johnny's on top. Just go that. And then we will just let this sit there and cook for a few minutes. All right, as you can see, our eggs over here are about done right now, so I tend to break them up pretty good instead of just leaving them as one big thing. Because remember, you're going to be dividing this up between each of the 6 that this recipe makes. So there we go. Our eggs are done. I'm going to toss them into a quick meal prep container. And there we go. Like I said, we're going to put these off to the side for a few minutes. And then once they're cool, we'll start putting everything together. Alright, so for the next part of this video, we are going to make the actual the yogurt dough. So the first thing we are going to need 100 grams of yogurt. Again, this is going to be the Greek yogurt, the probiotic one. That's a little bit more. Good enough for government work. It doesn't have to be 100% accurate with this. And then also the coulomb. So if you want to double or triple the batch, for every 100 grams of yogurt that you use, you want to use 1 cup of this flour. Obviously this is the self-rising flour, so I think it's a little bit different when you use the other one. So go in there. That. Now, for as far as seasoning, when you add in a little bit more, I just add in a little bit. As you guys have known on this channel, I do not actually measure seasonings. I wait and go until my ancestors tell me to stop. So I got a little bit of that. This is just regular Italian seasoning. Then I got some garlic powder. Put that a little bit in there. And then also to add a little bit of flavor, this is just some popcorn flavoring that I've been using for pretty much everything lately. I mean, actually make really good cheese sauce with this. This is nacho cheddar. I'm just going to sprinkle that. And then that is it. So move our measuring stuff to the side. And then we'll just go in with our spoon and just keep going around in circles until it gets in there. Eventually this will come to a point where you do have to use your hands to get in there. But for right now, we're just going to keep mixing it And then when we get to a point to worst where most of it is incorporated and it's just coming in big chunks, like we're almost quite there now, is when you actually have to get your hand in there and then start actually basically squishing it together. All right, we'll keep going. I'll put that away. Now I'm going to get in with my hands. Basically, just squeeze it together. I squeeze it together in my hands and just keep rolling it over and over. And eventually, you will get all of this incorporated into your dough ball. And then we will let it sit for a few minutes. All right, as you can see, we have finally got it all into one big dough ball here for the moment. And we are going to let this sit for about 15 or 20 minutes, just kind of like, almost like how you would for like a regular dough. I find it makes it a little bit easier to work with when you're actually rolling this out into the individual ones, the 6 individual ones we're going to be doing here in a few minutes. So we'll see you in about 20 minutes. All right, so as you can see, we have our dough ball here that's been sitting for about 20 minutes or so. And I'm just going to flatten it out a little bit more. And then, like I said, this recipe calls for 6 of these because there's 6 sausages per pack. I'll cut this. And this part is never an exact science. Just cut into thirds as best as you can. There you go. And I put some over there. We'll take a little bit of our flour, spread it out all over here. Let me see how I do it. Okay, so then we get some on our ball. Then we're going to roll this one back into a ball. Roll it. Then we're going to flatten it out a little bit. Move that out of the way. Take some of our flour that is on there. We're going to grab our rolling pin. Now we will just roll these out. I try to get these out to about, I don't know, 4 or 5 inches or so. It's roughly what I'm going for. There's no real actual size that I try and get these for. It's just enough to where you think you can roll all the ingredients out. I get all the ingredients in. So that looks about it. I'm going to shake off a bunch of the excess. I'm just going to put it to the side for now, grab the next one, and we will be back when we are done with all of these. Alright, so what I've got here is everything ready now that all of the dough is rolled out. First what we can do is we're going to grab our sausage. Now these are pre-cooked. If you feel like crisping them up a little bit more, go for it. The world is your oyster. Again, I don't go for it, but that doesn't mean anybody else can. So we put sausage in there. Get some of the egg. Remember, we've already measured all of this out, so it should all come out. There's going to be 10 grams of the cheese and 10 grams of the egg that we put in there. We're going to get that all in there as good as we can. Now we're going to do the one thing that I am absolutely terrible about, and that is actually rolling anything into a burrito or anything like that. I just absolutely suck at it no matter what. So we're going to roll this in as best as we can. And there we go. And then one thing I have noticed with these things, there is one right now, and it actually looks pretty good. These things, they just refuse to stick together at the end. I've tried water, I've tried an egg bath, all that kind of stuff. They just don't want to stick. So what I do is after I get them like this, is I just stick that part bottom down, then give it a little bit of a push to try and, quote unquote, seal it a little bit better on the pan. And then I cook it the first 10 minutes because we're going to be cooking these for 20 minutes at about 375. And then we're going to flip them halfway through so that I do that part. Hopefully they stay together. And then, so we'll get these done and we'll put them in the oven. Okay, there's a little bit of a lie before. I tried the water thing, but this time I added a lot more water to it than I usually do, because usually you just do a little dab and everything seals up. But this time I went back and I did do a lot more water, and they seemed, well, not that one. They seemed to seal a lot better this time. So we'll see what happens on this round. So before these go in, just gonna hit them with a little my butter flavored non-stick to put it on there, and then we'll see what they look like. Remember, we're gonna put this in for 20 minutes, and then we're gonna turn them at 10, and then put them back in for another 10. So we'll see you guys when they're done. Fresh out the oven, we have 6 of our breakfast sausage roll-ups. We've got cheese oozing out the sides of them. That's all right. That stuff tastes good because it's got a little bit of that crunch to it as it cooks down. So yeah, like I said, look at these. They're pretty much perfectly cooked. all that. These are extremely hot right now, so I'm put that back down. All right, we're gonna put these on a plate, and then we're gonna go get some eating going. How's it, everybody? So we are done with our sausage breakfast bites. There you go. Like I said, there is 6 of these per the entire serving. Now, for what I eat, I only eat 3 of them because these are about 980. Just call it 1,000 calories for each one. Forget exactly how much is in for every like with the protein and all that. So I divided it into 2 meals. It's about 500 calories. Then I also will add some more of the egg whites. Probably doing about another 100 grams of those. I add that all together. Usually it ends up to about 600 calories, and I want to say it's about 45 or so grams. So it's a good start to the day for breakfast. So I'm going to take a big bite of one of these. Take a little cheese part out. And you can see it right there. Sausage, egg, cheese. It's just like more like an egg croissant, not a croissant, but like a McMuffin type thing. So there you go. These are quick and easy. Overall, probably took me about 35 minutes or so to make these, and that's with doing it in stages and everything. You can make this for the entire week. Assuming that is what I do. Did it for the entire week. 3 each day. 100 grams of the egg whites go on top of it. It's a ton of protein to start your day, and it's great for weight loss. So that's it for everything. Sorry it's been a while since I had done a video. Like I said, inflation sucks. It's getting kind of expensive for everything out here, so I had to make this I don't know how many times in order to get it right. So that's all for now. Thank you very much, and then I'll put the macros and everything from the MyFitnessPal link pages after this part. Thank you. Bye.